So setting off, I travel along Beach Road towards Station Pier. The sunset was so beautiful I had to stop to take a photo. You can see the ship there against the sky, the glowing, beautiful sunset, and in the distance the Westgate Bridge and of course Newport Power Station. This is me about to drive up the ramp and onto the ship. I was actually quite excited at this point. The beginning of another adventure. This is my cabin on the ship. There are two single beds. Mine is on the right. My cabin mate, whom I didn't meet until really early the next morning, came in after I'd gone to sleep, obviously been upstairs doing whatever, came in, snored all night and got up the next morning before I even got up and left. This is Batman Bridge, crossing over the Tamar River. It's a single support suspension bridge and very impressive. The sky was beautiful, the river was flowing quickly, very cold but very beautiful. And this is my first stop. It's in a place called Nabola. There's nothing there. And so I parked here for the first night, off-grid, free camping. And here you can see the van on the left and just where I pulled in and backed into a little area off the road. In fact, I've come down a dirt road to get there. Here in a place called Ledgerwood, they had 9 trees which were planted in memory of those who died in World War I. Sadly, in 2003, they were condemned and had to be removed. So the locals got together and came up with the idea of doing this, preserving the stump and the roots, and then carving the figures of the people into the trees so that they are there and preserved for everyone to see. It's a very beautiful thing and very clever idea. And here is St. Helens. I've stopped at the beach and it's beautiful white sand. The sea still has a bluey green colour to it, and it was just a nice place to stop for a cup of tea. Stunning sky, absolutely beautiful. And here at Bicheno is the famous blowhole, and even though the sea was relatively calm, the blowhole is still working. I really like to see it on a rough day when it's working properly, but I was happy to see some water shooting up out of the spout as it was. This is sunrise in Bicheno, the sun just coming up over the hill. And so, as per usual, I'm awake in the morning, and I thought this was a rather clever shot. You can see the trees silhouetted against the sky and the sun just starting to peek over the hill. A nice way to start the day. This is Wineglass Bay, and this is one of the most beautiful sights I saw while I was in Tasmania. The mountains in the background are lovely. This is Spiky Bridge. This is one of the 2 convict-built bridges that I saw while I was travelling around. Spiky because of the spiky rocks that are set on the side of the bridge. It doesn't carry traffic anymore, only pedestrians, those who would stop just to have a look. And here I've come back a little bit further so you can get the whole view of the bridge. And you can see the spikes sticking up. This is sunrise in a place called Buckland. I woke up this morning, particular morning, and the thermometer said 3 degrees inside the van. So I thought I'd better go and turn the gas on, get some heating going. And as I opened the side of the van, ice fell off the side of the van. And here you can see I was parked in behind the pub called Buckland Inn. And it was quite all right for me to do that. I went and got permission first. And you can see there's still quite a bit of frost on the grass there, even though the sun has come up. But a beautiful morning. This is in Richmond. This is Richmond Bridge. Still in use today, carrying traffic. Another bridge built by convicts. And you can see 6 arches here. Still very beautiful sky you can see, and Richmond is a nice place. And of course I couldn't help myself, I had to buy a delicious vanilla slice from the cake shop here in Richmond. So I took it back to the van, made a cup of tea, and enjoyed myself. This is Hobart down at the docks. I didn't stay long in Hobart, but I went down to the docks area and had a look. Another beautiful afternoon. This is a church in Pontville. I'd been here before when I was much younger, came here to sing when I was in my late teens. A fellow by the name of Graham Oliver was rector here at the Point. He's now living in England. But a funny little church, and I remembered it and had to stop to take a photo. This is a place called Ross. It's halfway up the highway from Sydney going towards Launceston. And you can see here another beautiful sky and beautiful colours in the trees. And finally, my destination for this day, Cradle Mountain. I'd stopped in a caravan park which was very well laid out. And you can see here a beautiful blue sky and a lovely photo of Cradle Mountain, which I intended to climb the following day. I went for a walk around the park I was in, and this is just the water supply for the caravan park. And you can see here, again, a lovely reflection in this lake. This little fellow called a panda melon came to say hello. I'm sure he looks a bit cold and wanted to come inside, but I decided better of it. I think he also wanted something to eat, and of course we know we're not allowed to feed the wild animals. But he was quite friendly and stayed around until he decided he was getting nothing, then went on his way. This was the beautiful colours in the sky at sunset that night. You can see some blue sky fading into pink and finally into the gold where the tree is setting behind the trees. This is me getting ready to head out for my day of climbing Cradle Mountain. I've got a jumper on, I've got a vest, a puffer jacket, I've got a scarf, and over the top of that I'm going to put my big puffer jacket and of course a hat. As I'm climbing up Cradle Mountain along one of the paths, I came across many waterfalls, and this is just one of them. Some amazing scenes as I went up. And this was particularly beautiful. By the time I got to the top of Cradle Mountain, to Crater Lake, the fog had come down, but that didn't matter. It was still an amazing experience to be there, and in one sense, more mysterious with the fog rolling in and out on top of the mountain. You can see the lake here. It's been carved out by a glacier. A lot of people think because it's called Crater Lake, it's an old extinct volcano, but it was actually carved out by glaciers hundreds of thousands of years ago. And here you can see 2 other lakes while I'm standing up near the top. And again, you can see the fog starting to come in. Another beautiful little lake with some nice reflections on it. This is on my way down, a different path on the way down. And again, some beautiful clear water. You can see the foggy sky just in the background there. And this was at Penguin. I'd come down the mountain and I'm looking towards mainland Australia, but I can't quite see it there in the distance. And I was this afternoon heading towards Devonport to get back onto the ship to cross over Bass Strait. But in Penguin, here was Yet another police box. This is the third one I have seen in my travels around Australia so far. Quite amazing where this thing pops up. And here I am getting onto the ship for my journey back across Bass Strait. The weather had turned at this point and it was pouring with rain. But I had a lovely week in Tasmania and I can't wait to return.